erupted into the country's deadliest unrest in decades, leaving government building in flames, dozens dead, and Prime Minister ousted. This is not just a protest, it is a generational reckoning. The recent unrest in Nepal was triggered by the government decision to ban major social media platforms such as Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, and X. This move was widely criticized by the rights of groups and perceived by many as an attempt to suppress freedom of expression. However, the protests that followed were not solely about the ban. They reflected deeper frustrations among the youth, particularly the Generation Z, aged 13 to 28 years, who have long felt disillusioned by the rampant corruption, poor government, and lack of economic opportunities. Nepal has a high youth unemployment rate, with over 20% of the people aged 15 to 24 out of work. Many young Nepals rely remittances from family members working abroad, which make up the significant portion of the country's GDP. With economic dependence combined with the visible wealth and privilege of the political elites and their children, often referred to online as Nepo kids, has fueled resentment. The protest escalated quickly. Demonstrators clashed with the police, who responded with live ammunition, tear gas, and water cannons. The court and the parliament were set on fire. The violence led to the least 22 deaths and hundreds of injuries. The situation became so severe that the Nepal army was deployed to restore order, and the country's main international airport was shut down. In response to the crisis, the Prime Minister Sharma Oli resigned, citing the extraordinary circumstances. Several other ministers also stepped down. The president has called for peaceful dialogue, and there is a talk forming an interim government, possibly with the input of Gen Z organizations. International reactions has been strong. The UN Secretary General urged restraint and respect for human rights
in cities, towns, and villages. The only outcome to all this is more suffering, more destruction, and more horror as far as the eye can see.
Of protest is considered the most significant civil unrest in Nepal in decades, and its mark a pivotal moment in the country's political evolution, especially as young generation demand accountability and reform.